I mean, so how far are we willing to go?
As far as we can.
As far as as far as we can. So how far is that? I mean, so far, the beginning of this chapter, like John 11, we see that Jesus has to fight doubt. Jesus has to implement the patience to fight doubt. He has to deal with Mary and Martha. He has to deal with their faith. Then he has to deal with them reneging on their faith. He has to deal with the fact that the Pharisees are trying to kill him. He has to deal with the fact that his very purpose on this earth is for him to die a gruesome death for a whole bunch of people who have rejected him. You know, and we know that he feels pain. He cried, he wept. We know that he feels emotions. He showed it with Lazarus. He's dealing with all of that stuff. And at the end of John chapter 11, we're kind of just left with the fact that because of this, because of saving a friend, because of speaking life into a dead situation, he's being persecuted. That's just the final no. So how far are we willing to go to live that life? How far are we willing to go to be like Jesus? If being patient is what it takes, if having to repeat yourself over and over and over and over and over again to a situation that just doesn't want to change, you willing to do that? Are we willing to do that? And know that at the end of this struggle, all that's waiting for us is just like death, persecution, more struggle. I'm thinking about Jesus. I'm thinking about how Jesus had to really take time to be outside of himself. And we talked about this a little bit earlier, but I guess now I just really want to stress the importance of not being in your feelings. Your feelings just have the potential to corrupt everything that you are fighting for right now. If John 11 as a whole is showing us anything, is that, man, sometimes our feelings are enough. Sometimes our feelings are enough to derail us away from everything we've been working for. Sometimes it's like, how do you care? And this is a personal question I ask you guys. How do you go ahead and allow yourself to care deeply for something and yet know when it's the right time to not care so much? How does Jesus love Lazarus so deeply and yet know that he can pull back a little bit and wait 2 days until he begins to head out? Knowing that he's going to show up late, knowing that he's going to die, knowing that when he gets there, he's going to be met with 2 crying sisters, 2 people that he loves that are heartbroken, knowing that he's going to be heartbroken too. Knowing that you want to do it and knowing that you can't. And I think one of the biggest challenges that we face as believers in this generation is the fact that we have to behave a certain type of way, even in the light of the things that we really want to do. Even when saying no is hurtful to us too. And you think about a lot of things that I feel like the Christian community has kept quiet during a season like this. And it's the truth of the fact that sometimes it just hurts. Sometimes it's supposed to hurt. Sometimes hurting is just part of this life. Sometimes pain is a part. So how far are we willing to go knowing that, you know what, maybe this Christian walk isn't just, I don't want to say what came up to my head, but knowing that this Christian walk isn't just, a little walk in the park, knowing that it's not going to be all positive, knowing that it's not going to be all gravy. And more so, do we actually know? Do we have the convictions in our hearts? Do we walk around knowing that it's not always going to be that way? Are we ready to accept the fact that we're going to have some really down days? That we're going to have to make some really hard choices? knowing that we're gonna have to hurt, and knowing that our hurt is gonna come with purpose.
Yeah. Hurt equals purpose.
How far are you willing to go to do something and be there for someone who's annoying you? How far are you willing to go to serve someone who doesn't deserve it?
Fire.
How far are you willing to go to be there for someone who, quite frankly, has pushed you away time and time again? How far are you willing to go to reflect Jesus?